welcome to episode 32 of Bethel Brothers Hot Rod. Today I'm going to be prepping some parts for paint after the parts I ordered get here. They'll go on, and you know that's a little confusing, and it'll make a little more sense a little later on. Joe's also installing a gauge in his truck for his tranny. Show you some of that, so stick around, stay tuned. It'll be a good episode. Alright, Joe's mounting his gauge holder. Talk about it, man.
It's a B&M temperature gauge. It's a really easy one. You just splice into the top line on the GM right before the transmission. The top one on the transmission, like about 4 inches back, cut it. You put a T in. Wires go from the T to the battery, to the gauge, to the ground, and you have a working thermostat for your transmission, so you don't burn it up, because 90% of all transmission failure is due to overheating.
Yeah, so that's what he's doing.
This is the inner fender well that goes on the inside of the truck, and I'm gonna be painting it, so I'm grinding it down and prepping it. That's why I got this injury. This here grinder grabbed a hold of it. Yay, boy, that felt good, let me tell you.
What's up? Have to go to the store and get one for the mini grinder. Next stage, I want to disconnect the battery. That way you don't have any electrical shorts while you're hooking up the gauge.
Short it out.
Last thing you want to do is go spend $100 on a gauge and then burn it up because you're too lazy to disconnect the battery. Don't be lazy.
Got one of the fender wells done. I gotta get the corners and junk. Still kind of working on this one. The other side's done. I just gotta finish this side, and then I quit bugging the neighbors with all the noise. But until then, it's gah! You can't even hear yourself, can you, when it's on?
It hurts your ears. It's really bad, high pitch.
Yeah, that metal starts singing from that wire wheel rubbing on it real hard.
Like I was saying, on the GM, the top line off the transmission is your return line. So I cut it with a pipe cutter and put the T unit that's in the little package. It wasn't that hard. Just put the little ends on, tighten them down, and put my one wire on, and all I got to do is run my power and my temperature gauge for my transmission will work.
And then the gauge will be up and running. You'll be able to monitor its progress with heat ratios, yeah? Yeah,
from I think 120 to 380.
How much was the gauge?
$49, 40 something.
That's not too bad.
Not to know that your transmission will be alright. You won't have to worry about damaging it or having to pay for another one because it got too hot and you burned it up.
Clever, clever, clever! So that's where you put it. To and from lines, blah blah blah. Transmission, blah blah blah. Joe, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Okay, I got my inner fender wells hanging out here, getting ready to shoot them. Da da da. That's what's going on. Okay, I got the first coat done. It's gotta dry. Go check on what Joe's doing. So that went up and through. So the mount for Joey's gauge wouldn't stick, so now he's got to screw it on. It's always something screwy, Louie. Doesn't that look scary? He's got to get a screw up into that there hole, because glue won't hold. I'll wire it all up. Will the screw work? Will Joe get it in without freaking out?
No.
Should I put the camera right by his head, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
Yes. Make the monkey crazy.
Look at that focus. Look at that concentration. This is what I do to Joe when I'm waiting for paint to dry. Joey's putting his gauge in. Just got off the phone with Silas up in Oregon. Hello, Silas and Ginger.
Hey, John.
What's up?
He's gonna call Monster Transmission for one of their monster transmissions because of the best in the world.
And he saw it on Bethel Brothers Hot Rod.
Yeah.
So we are getting the point across. There's his gauge. He's hooking up the wires right now, stuffing them all back in. Trying to make pretty the Frankenstein beast. Through the magic of television, this is coat number 3. So I'm gonna let these dry because the sun's going down. I'm gonna lose the heat, and then the paint won't dry. There's the other one. It's got some slick action going on. You can see some reflection going. It'll be a nice paint job, but I want to get like 6 coats on it. So tomorrow, while I'm waiting for the headers to get here, I'll slap on the remaining coats on these because this will be dried and cured and ready and yah. And then when the headers get here, I can dry fit those while these are drying on tomorrow's further coating. So yeah. In case you're wondering where the parts go that I'm painting, they hook off of this piece and they come forward to be this side of the fender well. The divot is what goes over the shock right here. So that's what's going on, and those will be painted and slickety when I get the headers on, and those are coming tomorrow. There's his gauge. He's gonna yell at me, "Get out of the way, dude!" He's gotta tighten up his little electrical connections, and then he'll be able to fire it up. This is what he's putting in. There's part number. Temperature gauge by B&M. Easy to install. Joe, was it easy?
Oh, except for cutting the pipe and mounting the stupid little plastic bezel. The bezel was the hardest thing. Cutting the pipe wasn't that hard. Getting the little thing to mount sucked.
So was it easy? It says easy on the box. Easy to install.
Putting gauge in was easy. Getting the gauge mounted sucked.
So they need to put putting gauge in sucks on the box, right?
No, they need to say putting gauge in is easy. Mounting gauge sucks.
But anyway, you know, you gotta myth bust these things, so. And you're gonna also need your connectors and splicers. These are the tools you're gonna need. Crazy glue, that all-purpose wrench, you know. Gotta re-hook up the battery. Whoa. Fail-safe on all alarm systems. You disconnect the battery. When you hook it back up, the alarm is going to go off.
Good for your ears.
Yeah, it's great for the ears, right? That's better than the grinding. That was pretty loud though, man.
Scary.
Gang. Okay, man, fire it up. Uh-oh. Would have appeared that Joe had a couple wires crossed, so the gauge wasn't working, but now, as you can see, it's indicating temperature. Transmission temperature gauge by B&M. So it may be a moderate application instead of easy installation.
Yeah, it's not.
Rated a level 5. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 5 in installation.
It's not as easy as they said it was.
Got my parts in, hanging for the night. I dropped that one, so I got some sanding to do. And then there's the other one. Like I said, losing sun, and I don't want to leave it out there. My dog would probably hose it or something. It's going to end it for today's episode. Hope you liked it. Hope you learned something. We're going to be moving soon, so these episodes might be cut off there for a little bit. We'll try to get back as soon as we can. Moving everything we got here is going to take a while, so be patient, stick around, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching Bethel Brothers Hot Rod.